move on to the next question. Why is visualization so important? Okay. Again, well, this kind of links to the previous question because visualization is key to give yourself a vision, a focus. If you don't imagine what you want to, when you imagine something, your unconscious doesn't know the difference between something that you've visually constructed and something that has actually happened in the past, a memory as such. Your unconscious can't tell the difference if you vividly imagine it. So if you see something through your eyes so it feels real to you, you will believe in that moment when you're thinking about it, you'll believe that it's happening. Okay? Very, very important. Very, very important. Now, if you want to overcome some memories in your past, you need to change the submodalities that you have associated to it. Don't see it through your eyes, see it in black and white, make it smaller in your mind's eye rather than filling up the whole of your mind panoramically here. Dissociate from the experience and it won't have the same kind of meaning and connections to you. So this is why visualization is so crucial. This is why I teach it constantly. Doesn't matter what it is you want to visualize, whether you want to lose weight, become healthier, improve your relationships, change your career, develop new skills. Visualization is key. You know, science has shown they've done some amazing scientific experiments where they had people, there were 3 groups. One group physically learned the piano. They were playing the keys and they did learn, of course. That makes sense. If you're learning something, you're repeating those actions, it will become instilled within your unconscious and habitual, right? We've all got that. There was another group that was told, go play the guitar, then play around with the piano, have a field day, do what you got to do, have fun. They didn't make no real progress because it was too sporadic, it was too chaotic, there was no repetition of playing certain chords and so on and so forth, and it didn't become habitual. That makes sense as well. And then there's a third group that went into the actual same room, but just sat there, closed their eyes, and visualized playing the keys in the same sort of ways. Now, what was found was that group that visualized and never actually enacted those physical actions on the piano, they pretty much changed the synaptical wiring in their brain, the neural connections that were made in the brain by the first group. Almost as strong. Not quite as strong, not the exact same, but almost strong. I find that incredible. Your own brain, your own visualization of imagining yourself achieving certain things, performing certain things in certain ways is almost as powerful as actually doing them in real life. That is staggering. That is incredible. And it's a skill that's underutilized. And everyone can learn to visualize. A lot of people tell me when I'm teaching them these strategies, they say to me, I'm not creative. I can't imagine it. And I give them scenarios and I teach them that they can because they do it on a regular basis every time they go to sleep. Of course, have you never daydreamed before? Well, then you can be creative. Have you ever had a dream? You've been creative. Are you telling me you don't relive certain memories in your past? You don't remember when you went on this holiday? Tell me about a time when you went on your favorite holiday. Tell me what you experienced. And then they'll start to look here and go, yeah, I went here, I saw this, I did that, that person said that to me. Well, you're creating. You're reliving it. You're imagining. You're being creative right now. Imagine this. See? And then you need to just change the seating. And I sometimes get them to stand up and sit on a different chair and do it. They're like, oh, now I can see from your perspective. So there's so many ways that we can play around with things to better visualize what we want to achieve. And the reason why I teach visualization in a meditative state is because you want to drop down from beta to alpha and even to theta, because you need to think fewer thoughts per minute and to get into the right state. Okay? So I'll leave that question there. Let's move on to the final question today. How can you change your behaviors? how can you change your behaviors? I want to give you something new that I haven't said. Obviously, the associations that you have to those behaviors, changing the behaviors that lead to that behavior. So, for instance, some people, they finish working on a particular project, whether it be referring to, responding to emails or having a certain meeting, then they have their break. After their meeting, they go and smoke a cigarette. After they smoke a cigarette, they go and give me something different that people do when they're at work. They go and I don't know, work on a project. That's the three. Let's say that's the trio of behaviors. They check their emails. On their break, they go and smoke, and then after they go and work on a project. That's what they do. Because they repeat that same set of behaviors, they now effortlessly transition from one to the next. So what I'm saying is that behaviors are not in isolation. We oftentimes link one behavior and automatically flow into the next because it's what we've accustomed to. It's the links, the associative links we've made from one activity to the next. So if you want to change one behavior, oftentimes we need to change a set of behaviors, a set of order, the syntactical order of these. So you have to understand that. You might, again, going back to changing your environment, if you want to change your behaviors, change your environment, and then the behavior itself will change. And not just that, you want to change, I've said this before in this podcast, you want to change at an identity level. You cannot change, like for me, one of the things that I've changed to me is biting my nails. I used to bite my nails quite a lot. Oftentimes till it sometimes used to bleed and stuff like that. I was like, oh God, this is not good. And the reason why I struggled initially to stop biting my nails was because I linked it to my identity. I bite my nails. It's who I am. I start overthinking things and then I start to bite my nails. It's what I do. But because I've changed an identity level and I'm no longer someone who bites their nails, or I'm more present than I used to be, or I don't overthink situations as much as I used to, because I've changed an identity level, my belief systems, I now don't do the behaviors that used to reinforce the archaic older belief systems. Because I've changed an identity level, it's no longer me. So I can put my finger to my mouth and there's no satisfaction there anymore. There's no emotional connection to that behavior anymore. If you take away the emotion, you change the behavior. And we'll leave it there.